Hello, my name is Rose, and this is my Flosstube channel, Untwist Your Stitches. It is a cross-stitch and crafting channel. Today we're only going to have cross-stitch. I have some material that I have pulled out to make a new quilt pattern that I hope will turn out real cute. But I haven't done anything but pull the material. I haven't done any cutting or any of that kind of stuff. So all we have today is my crafts, or my good grief, my cross stitching and a few purchases. If you are a subscriber, or even if you're not a subscriber, I would appreciate it very much if you would hit the like button. That puts me out in the algorithm for YouTube for more people to find me. If you are not a subscriber, I would encourage you to subscribe if you find something that I've done that interests you, or if I have any tips or anything that you would like to come back and see more of. So let's get started into what is going on. I have started filming some of the episodes for my Stitching Adventure box. I haven't gotten very far. There's been some things going on here at the house and with me personally that I've had to deal with. And so I haven't gotten very far with that, but it is rolling along. I have the boxes ready to ship June 9th. Actually, June 10th, I think, is when they will actually get to the post office, because I need to get a new printer. The one that I have is acting up and it won't fully print the labels for me. So I've ordered a new printer, and that's supposed to come in on the 9th. So then on the 10th, I will be able to print out the labels and get them shipped out. I didn't have as big a response as I would have hoped, but for those of you who have ordered the box, thank you. And I hope that you will find what I've put into it to your liking, and you will enjoy what is there. The other thing that I like to do at the beginning of each Flosstube is show you my one-of-a-kind Floss of the Month Club flosses. This is a Roxy Floss Co. Club. And I'm not sure what the theme was for this year or for this month, but here they are. This one is called Gum and Gumber. And this is the speckled floss that she does. And I just love the speckling in these flosses. The next one is Double Mint. This one is Toothbrush Time. This one is Orbit. Oh, I know what. It finally dawns on me what these are. They're different gums and things to do with your teeth. And Winter Green. So yeah. Double Mint, Orbit, and Winter Green. Those are all flavors and different kinds of gums and whatnot. This one with the gums and this one with the toothbrush. That's all teeth related. Now then, her choices this time for a contrasting color. This one is called Monarch, which I would assume is for the monarch butterfly. And Lava. And so those are the 7 flosses for this month. And the reason that I have them in this order is because when I opened this, it made me think that they would be perfect, at least the greens, to use to make this pattern. So I've put them in the order that I would use if I do decide that this is what I want for this pattern. So the center would be the speckled, and then there would be the contrasting darker color, and then the lighter Tooth Fairy one for the next, and so on. So those would be the flosses that I would use. And I think if I do it in these colors, I want to use kind of a neutral, kind of a sand tone, so that these colors truly stand out on whatever fabric I decide to use. But that's why I have them in that order rather than from lightest to darkest. And as I said, this is the June set of One of a Kind Roxy Floss Co. Club. The next thing I have to share with you would be my finishes. This one I call a staff, start and fully finish. This will be my July flower of the month that will go in my perpetual calendar. And the reason I chose this flower for July is lilies of the valley are my favorite flower. This is, I'm not going to remember the name. Malachite, I think, is the name of the fabric. It's a 14 count fabric. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like the right name. I'll find it and put it in the description for you. It's DMC floss, and it's all the colors that were called for. This is a pattern by Maurer-Stroh, and it was a freebie on her site several years ago, and I had downloaded them, and I can't show you, you can see what it looks like finished, but I can't show you a finished pattern picture because all of them were just the pattern. It didn't have a finished picture. The next one I would like to show you as a finish is from my sheep virtues. It is the Hope sheep, and there she is, or he, whichever. I only got one sheep done this month. With all my traveling, I didn't have a whole lot of time to do any stitching. There was just other things going on. So I only got one sheep done this month. But this is how it looks so far. And I will be working on it again when it comes back through my rotation. But that is the finish for sheep virtues. So those are my only two finishes this month. As I said, with being gone to my niece's graduation and then helping my daughter out with her surgery, the stitching time was quite limited. So now we're going to move on to whips. And the first whip I have for you is a Mill Hill kit. It's called Chick's Hotel. There you go. And this is how far I have gotten with it. A lot of this stitching was done on the airplane when I was flying to Arizona. And I like to take the Mill Hill kits with me when I'm on an airplane because it's just the easiest to see with the lighting that you have in airplanes. So that is what I've done for Chick Hotel. And the other whip that I've got is my Zucca. Zucca is done on, so this, everything is just from the kit. I didn't change the perforated paper or any of the threads or anything. It's as kitted. Now, Zucca is an Alassandera Adelaide pattern. I've been working on this for a while. It is on 28 count even weave in the color Rusty. And I've changed colors on it because I wanted my pumpkin to be white. The two main colors that I'm using are Weeks Dye Works White Lightning and Gentle Arts Summer Showers. So, whoops, here we go. This, and I don't know why the color always comes out so red. It is not that bright of a red. It's more of a brownish rust color. But the lighting and the camera just pick it up as red, and it's really not. So the White Lightning is this main white in the fabric, and the Summer Storm is this gray. Okay, so sorry I had to stop for a minute. The dogs were barking. There were deer in the backyard, and they were having a fit about that. So I just showed you Zucca, and now I am going to show you my Heaven and Earth design snowman. Its name is Christmas Cottage, and it's by Dona Gelsinger and charted by Heaven and Earth. And this time I was able to get page 42 completed. So let me show you. Oops. There we go. That is the entire piece. And the part that I was working on was right here, the gate. So this year I have already completed 2 pages. In July, I hope to pull it out twice. The first 2 weeks of July is when I plan on stitching on that, so that, Christmas in July, and see how far I can get with that. I will do it one time this month, and I always work on it for 1 full week. If you're new, you won't know this, but I work on my projects for a full week. I start on Sunday and I end on Saturday, so that each project gets that full week's worth of stitching. If I finish a project during that week, then I'll pick up a little small that I'll try to finish also. But the main focus is my 12 whips that I currently have on the go. And so the next thing I have to show you is a new start. I count it in my whips because it is going to be the whip for this week. But it is a new start. It is Midnight Pumpkin Carving by Lola Crow Designs. And I am doing this for my grandson. He is just enamored with zombies and and skeletons and, kind of all the spooky stuff. So I have made changes to the floss that I'm using. I am going to be doing it on the black fabric because it just looks so good on that fabric. But the colors that I am using are from my previous Roxy Floss Co. club. And I am going to be using the Rock Face, Boulder, Pebble, the new ones, this Lava and Monarch, and then the green in the vine is going to be from last month's set of floss, and it is called Ogre. The other thing that I'm using is Nutmeg from Cottage Gardens. I'm using Just Rust from Crescent Color Works. And then from Gentle Arts, I'm going to be using Banker's Gray, Black Crow, and Walnut. So let me show you how far I have gotten so far. So within the skeleton here, the Rock Face, Boulder, and Pebble are showing you the shading on the skeleton. The Ogre is this green, and it's not really showing up very well. It's a really pretty green. Let me take it out and show you. So that's the green. It's not showing up in the picture very well, but it is the vines. The pumpkin that he's sitting on, the dark shading on the outside is the Just Rust. And the nutmeg is going to be the dirt that is around the pumpkin patch. If you notice on the picture, there's this, I mean, he's obviously sitting in a pumpkin patch. So the Monarch and the Walnut will be the dirt in there. Not Monarch, I'm sorry. The Nutmeg. Let me see if I can find it here. So these will be the two that I use for the dirt. Walnut and nutmeg. And then for the skeleton, it did call for white, but I just didn't think it really looked very good in the white. So I changed the white to the 3685 DMC. And then the yellow on the inside of the pumpkin that he's currently carving is going to be this DMC 742. Now this was completely charted in DMC colors, but because I have these flosses that I've got in these clubs, I want to try using them. And when I looked at the colors that DMC was calling for, it made sense to use the Roxy Floss Co. fabric or fibers, because they pretty much match for match. And this is 2 days of working on him. Now there should be more done, but why is it that the easiest pattern that has the simplest counting is the one that you make the most mistakes on? I had to pull out a whole bunch of vines that I already had put in here, and I had to pull out a whole bunch of this nutmeg color because I had counted wrong and there was no way to fudge it. I am a fudger most of the time if it will work that way. But the way that the pumpkins were setting and the way that the little cat is curled up next to it, my mistake would have made it almost impossible to fudge. So I ended up having to cut it out. Or not cut it out, but pull it out. And I've got plenty of floss, so I'm not worried about that. But this is how far I've gotten. And I had hoped to finish it this week, but with all of the pulling out that I've had to do, actually that's 3 days worth of, or 2 days worth of stitching, sorry. Because Sunday, in order to finish my page on my Christmas cottage, I worked into part of Sunday stitching on it just to get that last little bit of that page done so I could call it a page finish. So that's what I'm currently working on. I have some plans. I am going to next week start this pattern. I am making 2 of them, one for each one of my sisters, and I'm going to give it to them for their birthdays. One is in August and one is in November, so I've got plenty of time to get it completed. Then I will work on my small, which is my cherry design that I'm working on, where I'm using these 2 patterns and combining them to make a sampler. They're both Sugar Stitches designs. And like I said, I'm combining them into one pattern. I should be showing it to you obviously next week next month, because I'll be working on it during the month. And the other thing that I'll be working on is the next month's head for my snowman. And it will be I've done January, February, March, April. So it will be this. They don't have a bigger picture of it, but this one here with the blue hat and the flowers, that will be the next one that I will be working on. And then the final month, or the final week of June, will be time spent on Christmas Cottage, and then that will roll over into July, where I'm working 2 weeks in July for that. And those are my plans for June. Hopefully everything will go as I have put it together. There have been some things that have just really messed up my plans in the last almost month. So anyway, the next thing that I'm going to share with you are what I call postal prizes. I do not have an LNS any place around here. It would be 3.5 hour drive one direction in order to go to there. They're in the process of putting together a Hobby Lobby about 1.5 hours away from me, and I go up there for other shopping needs. So that hopefully they say the 1st of June, but so far they have not notified anybody that the opening has happened. So I'll have that, but still, that's obviously not an LNS, but at least it's some sort of craft store locally. So I call these my postal prizes because I have to order pretty much everything online. What I have done this time, it's all from 1-2-3 Stitch. And because of Memorial Day and June has Flag Day in it, and of course the 4th of July, patriotic is something that a lot of people are thinking about and stitching. And I ordered a bunch of different patriotic patterns. So this one is the Hands-On Designs Tiny Town Patriotic. I thought this one was really cute. It is 4th of July, but it's got that squirrel in it. It's actually got the three different patterns, because this little pillow and this little pillow are separate patterns, and then the squirrel with the red, white, and blue hearts and whatnot. So I thought that was really cute. Stars and Stripes by Bent Creek. This one's been out for a while. Then I got Calico Confectionaries, Oh My Stars. And I got Shepherd's Bush Flag. Now these are all smalls, so they should go together really quick, and I'll be able to add them to my patriotic wall that I have shown you a couple times. Yeah, I think there's a picture of it at the beginning of my video. So that's where these patriotics will go along with. Then I love cardinals, and I saw this one and it actually was on sale. So I went ahead and got that. Now, I'm not sure if I will do the part that says when cardinals appear, it's a visitor from heaven. I haven't decided yet if I'll add that quote in, or if I'll put that bottom border on it. That'll be when I start stitching it. That'll be a decision then. Also, when I was going through, there was a sale going on. It wasn't the Memorial Day sale. It was something before that. And these little birds popped up. And I thought they were super adorable. This one is called Robin. This one is called Cardinal. And this one is called Bluebird. I think there's one other one, but for some reason I did not get him because he didn't appeal to me as much as these three did. Once I get them stitched up, I may change my mind and get the fourth one. It's all going to decide. It's all going to depend on what I feel like at that point. But those were my Postal Prize shopping. Oh, no, sorry. One more. And then I got this for Unto Us. I thought that was a beautiful little pattern. And depending on how much time I have, I may be stitching this for both of my sisters to give to them for a Christmas present. Because it looks like it would go very quick. There's no fraction stitches in it. It's all full stitches, and it's not a huge pattern. So depending on how my stitching goes, I may or may not give that to them for Christmas this year. So those, finally, I'm right this time. Those are my purchases. And the last thing I'm going to share with you are some suggestions for other floss tubers. Now, you might know some of these or you might not. And if you don't, please go check them out because they're really fabulous. The first one is the Dutch Stitcher. Obviously, she's from Holland and she does some gorgeous work. Her stitching is just fabulous. You really should watch her. And she has also started doing podcasts of 1 hour long where she talks to floss tubers that she has reached out to, and they give kind of a history of themselves. Plus they show different completed projects and tell you why they're important to them and what it was that made them special. So her name is Hanukkah, and she is the Dutch Stitcher. Also, there are B&E Stitchery and Two Needles Pulling Thread. They just had their library retreat, and both of them had done a review of that. So they're out there, and it sounds like it was really a fun retreat. So you should go see if you've not if you're not already subscribed to them. I would recommend both of those. There is one that I don't know if I had heard about her before or not, but because I was watching the Dutch Stitchers podcast and she was interviewing her, it made me want to go and watch her channel, and that is Sarah's Stitchy Spot. She is a California floss tuber, and she's been doing it for a long, long time. She's got some really great work to show, and I would recommend her. I've gone back and watched 2 or 3 of her earlier videos, and I was impressed with her, so I don't know why I haven't already subscribed to her, but she is new to me, and I found her through the podcast that I watched. There's also Rose Crafty Corner. This is 2 ladies in Australia. They're friends, and they've been doing their floss tube almost the same amount of time that I've been doing mine. They're at 2 years, and they're just really fun to watch and to see what Australian patterns they come up with, and some of the different things that they choose to stitch are different from what I would choose to stitch, but they're really fun to watch and to see the progress on them. And I highly recommend them as well. And then in Canada, there is Karen from the Stitching Owl, and she's been going for quite some time. If you're a Canadian viewer, I know that you will know who Karen is, and she just does some really fun stuff. She does quite a few smalls and sends them out as gifts to other stitchers. She reached out to me a couple years ago and asked for my address, if it would be okay for her to send me a stitched piece, and I was thrilled to get it. And for the last 2 years, it's been hanging on my Christmas tree. So she likes to do that. What does she call them? Oh, I can't think of what she calls them, but it's like a friendship stitch, and she likes to send them out to different people. So Karen from the Stitching Owl is another very good floss tube to watch. And I hope you'll come back and watch me again. I enjoy sharing my stitching with other crafters, and I hope that I can inspire people to pick up a needle and thread and do whatever it is they want to do. There are no rules in cross stitch. You can make it your own. You can follow the pattern exactly, or you can modify it to make it what you want. There are tons and tons of designers on Etsy. You can go to 123 Stitch. You can go just do a Google search, and so many patterns come up. So this is a craft that pretty much anybody can do. Now, some people say it's expensive. I find it is not. I find that the amount of time that I am able to relax with my cross stitch, that the price that it is, I don't find it expensive. Maybe that's me being, I don't know. I use it for relaxation and to just enjoy. So, I mean, yes, you can get expensive. You can get into the silks. You can get into the hand-dyed fabrics and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, of course, some of it can be very expensive. But if you go out and you see something and you want to just pick up it as a kit, a $20 or $25 kit, even a $35 kit. If you work on it for several months and you determine the price per month, it's really not that much. I know a lot of people that spend more on coffee for a month than they would ever spend on crafting. So it's not as expensive as some crafts that are out there, and it might be a little more than a few others, but it is so enjoyable, and I really love sharing with everyone what I'm doing. And I hope that you can come back and love it too, and that I can encourage you. So have a great day. I will see you in a month, and happy cross stitching. Bye.